Let's dive right into this explainer, because today we're exploring one of the most spectacular, awe-inspiring events on the entire planet. We're talking about the Ratha Yatra festival in Jagannatha Puri. Now, at first glance, this might just look like a traditional grand religious procession marking the summer vacation of the Lord of the Universe as he leaves his main temple for a garden retreat. But as we're going to see, the sheer scale of this event and the incredible, deeply human drama hiding just beneath the surface make this story absolutely fascinating.
And it's so massive, it actually permanently changed the English language. Think about it. Have you ever used the word Juggernaut to describe a huge, unstoppable force? Well, that word derives directly from Jagannath. When the British first witnessed this festival, they were just completely stunned by the staggering size of these giant chariots rolling down the streets of Puri. They actually coined the word Juggernaut to capture that overwhelming, unstoppable momentum.
But here is where this grand event holds a massive, totally unexpected twist. See, the festival quickly pivots from this cosmic spiritual journey into a highly entertaining, surprisingly relatable domestic drama. Just think about it for a second. What actually happens when the Lord of the Universe goes on a summer vacation, takes his brother and sister, and completely forgets to invite his wife? Complete chaos. And that chaos is the beating heart of this entire story.
Section 1. Purifying the Garden Temple. So before this grand journey even kicks off, there is some deep spiritual preparation required. And that starts with the sweeping of the Gundicha Temple, which is the summer retreat located about 3 kilometers away. Historically, this was a massive cleaning effort led by Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and hundreds of chanting devotees. And we're not talking about a quick sweep here. They meticulously gather every single bit of straw, dust, and sand, collect it all in their cloths, and throw it completely outside the temple grounds.
And look at the sheer joyousness captured in this tradition. The sweeping isn't viewed as a chore at all. It's an act of pure ecstasy. The texts actually describe how Lord Chaitanya's entire body was covered in dust and dirt, which made him transcendently attractive. The enthusiasm was so profound that the Lord was even shedding tears, and in some places literally used those tears to help wash the temple space alongside the devotees as they chanted.
But here's the really beautiful part. This physical act of cleaning is actually a metaphor for clearing one's own heart and mind. The core idea is that if you truly desire to receive the divine, you first have to do the hard work of purifying your own heart. You have to completely sweep away all that inner dust to make it a welcoming place.
Section 2. The Giant Chariots. So with millions of pilgrims crowding in, you need a way to tell who is who. These 3 incredible structures use distinct visual cues to distinguish the sibling gods. Each gets their own massive chariot. Lord Jagannath rides on a yellow one marked with a chakra, which is a divine discus, and Garuda, the mighty eagle mount. His brother, Baladeva, rides a blue chariot with a palm tree insignia, and their sister, Subhadra, rides a black chariot adorned with a lotus. It's this incredibly ancient, highly organized visual system to keep the massive crowds oriented.
But before these massive juggernauts can even move an inch, something really remarkable happens. As a mark of absolute respect, the King of Puri himself steps forward to personally sweep the chariots. It's such a powerful image, isn't it? The highest royalty in the land partaking in an act of extreme, very public humility right before the grand departure.
And then the festival just erupts. The atmosphere is absolutely electric. There's this huge fanfare of conches, trumpets, and drums. Dancers and musicians flood the remarkably wide streets, which, by the way, were specifically designed to accommodate all 3 of these chariots side by side. The entire route is flanked by buildings and balconies decked out in bright flags and flowers. Thousands of people rush forward just for a chance to pull the ropes.
And this is exactly why this matters so much. The Lord of the Universe is usually kept deep inside the inner sanctum of the main temple, totally hidden away from the everyday world. But during Ratha Yatra, he comes out. He becomes easily accessible to absolutely everyone in the streets of Puri. It's this rare, thrilling moment where the divine leaves all the formalities behind to mingle directly with the public for an intimate garden retreat.
Section 3. The Angry Goddess.
Now, tracking the lunar cycle, we can actually see exactly when the tension escalates. The journey kicks off on day 2 of the waxing moon. For a few days, the siblings are just having a great time. But by day 5, a day known as Hera Pankami, Goddess Lakshmi, who is the goddess of wealth and the Lord's wife, decides she has officially had enough. What started as a relaxing retreat turns into a full-blown cosmic soap opera.
Left all alone and, well, brooding, Goddess Lakshmi is not happy. Seeking some backup from Goddess Vimala, she travels by night in a closed palanquin to secretly infiltrate the garden temple. Her mission? To enchant and entreat her husband to pack his bags and come home immediately.
But it definitely doesn't go as planned. When she arrives, the Lord's servants actually close the door right on her to prevent her from seeing him. Blocked from her own husband, her divine fury boils over. She becomes so angry that she actually vandalizes her husband's giant chariot. She literally breaks a piece off of it in a fit of rage before turning right around and storming back to the main temple.
Section 4. A Divine Reconciliation. You've really got to appreciate the absolute humor baked into this ancient tradition. When the Lord finally returns, this whole conversation goes down where the goddess's female attendants hurls some deeply relatable, domestic insults at the Lord of the universe. They call him inconsiderate, they literally call him a Jack the Lad who takes his wife for granted, and they even accuse him of being way too easily led by his in-laws. It is remarkably grounded.
We are literally watching the ultimate lovers' quarrel play out step by step. The Lord returns to the city, but Lakshmi is still furious, so she orders the temple doors shut right in his face. Then the servants of both sides start shouting and quarreling with each other. Finally, Lord Jagannatha realizes he just can't win. He concedes defeat and actually offers bribes to the female gatekeepers just to get back into his own house.
And meanwhile, the Lord's servants are just desperately trying to pacify the goddess. Look at the excuses they are making here. They frantically explain that he really had no choice, that he was basically held hostage on vacation against his will, and that he still loves and respects her enormously. It is the exact same frantic backpedaling any ordinary husband caught in a lie might make to smooth things over.
Fortunately for everyone, the bribes and the excuses actually work. The next day, the Lord and Goddess appear in public together, fully reconciled and as loving as ever. The cosmic summer vacation drama finally ends, the grand chariots are put away, and life in the great temple resumes its strict, ancient routine.
Section 5. The core philosophy. Intimacy over mastery.
So what do we take away from all this? In a lot of traditions, God is viewed strictly as this distant master on a throne, someone who requires absolute, quiet reverence. But for the devotees in Puri, Jagannatha is viewed through the lens of a friend. They see a deity who is intimate, deeply relatable, and totally entangled in the exact same messy, humorous domestic dramas that we all deal with. They connect with him not through fear, but through shared human complexity.
Which brings us to a really fascinating question to leave you with. Does humanizing the divine with our own flaws, our own humor, and our own silly domestic dramas actually provide the most direct path to understanding the universe? Maybe stripping away all that untouchable grandeur to reveal a husband locked out of his own house isn't disrespectful at all. Maybe, just maybe, it's the most beautiful, authentic way to truly connect with the divine. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.